All right, case 2, the Atwood machine. In this, we got mass 1 and mass 2. They're connected by a string tension, and they're being hung over a pivot point, a pulley. And mass 2 is heavier than mass 1, so it's going to go down, and it's pulling mass 1 up. All right, and so mass 1 has a positive acceleration, mass 2 has a negative acceleration. Free body diagrams for mass 1. We got the force of tension pulling it up, and force of gravity acting down on it. And for mass 2, we have force of tension pulling up on it, and force of gravity pulling down on it. Step 2. Step 2. We're going to simplify things we know. So we got A1 is equal to A2 because they're moving as one, and so we're just going to call acceleration A. All right, and then the force of tension of 1 is equal to the force of tension on 2, and so we're just going to call that force of tension. Step 3. We got to write Newton's law, so F net equals ma, and so for mass 1, that's going to be positive. The net force for mass 2 is negative, so it's minus m2a. And so now we have to find all the forces acting on mass 1. So F net equals force of tension minus force of gravity. It's going to be the same thing over here. Equals force of tension minus the force of gravity, but on the second one. Step 5, we got to combine. We're going to equate step 3 and 4, since they both have F net. And so force of tension minus force of gravity 1 is equal to positive m1a. Over here, force of tension minus force of gravity on 2 is equal to negative m2a. Step 6, we're going to expand, and we're going to simplify. Since both these have a F force of tension, we're going to simplify. Force of tension is equal to positive force of gravity 2 minus m2a. So we're going to plug this into that. And so we got force of gravity 2 minus m2a minus force of gravity 1 equal m1a. All right, and then we can also simplify force of gravity. That can be written as mass times gravity, mass 2 times gravity, and then minus m2a minus mass 1 times gravity. That changes to that, this changes to that. That equals m1a. And then step 8, we got to combine like terms. And so we're going to move any term with a attached to it to one side, and any term with a g attached to it to the other. So we're just going to move this over here. We're going to rewrite this as mass 2 times gravity minus mass 1 times gravity equals m1a plus m2a. For step 9, we're going to combine like terms. We're going to factor out g, factor out a. Write this as a times m1 plus m2. Write this as g times m2 minus m1. Solve for a. For step 10 is solve for a. So we're just gonna cancel out this, leave us m1 plus m2, leave us with A is equal to gravity times m2 minus m1 all over m1 plus m2.